Hey, if you're a mom who wants to be intentional in how you approach motherhood, but you know that you still have a lot of bitterness towards your own mother, welcome. Pull up a chair. Let's chat. Hey, I'm Dr. Vanessa of Motherhood Unmasked, and want to have a real important conversation with you as a woman who I applaud for wanting to be intentional about having a plan, having a vision for your approach to motherhood that may be very different from how you were mothered for reasons that are personal and painful for you. And want to encourage you that the first part of being an intentional mother is intentional forgiveness. I know, I just said a four-letter word. It's a word that's hard for us to swallow, especially depending on exactly the extent to which we've been hurt. For someone to say that on top of healing from your hurt, you need to also forgive the person who hurt you is a lot to wrap your mind around. And it's why forgiveness is such a topic that people need to discuss over and over and over, because it sounds like we're saying the person who hurt you needs to needs to just be able to get off scot free as if they didn't hurt you. But it's like everyone always says, not forgiving them is like putting out poison that you're drinking. You think it's for them, but you're drinking it and you're suffering and they're going about their business. And so I really am talking about positioning yourself. Let me make sure my mic is still working, because there's nothing worse I've discovered than recording and finding out that there's no sound. Anyway, you can't really be free enough to be the mom that you're hoping to be, the mom that your child needs, even though you didn't have the mother that you needed. There's nothing worse than trying to do that shackled to unforgiveness for things that your mother put you through that you haven't processed and put aside. It's not that it didn't happen. It's not that it didn't hurt, but avoiding it and sort of trying to fix it by what you do with your children, that's not how you actually fix it. It doesn't get fixed that way. It either gets repeated, or it's your attempts are just tainted. It's not pure. It's not the essence of what you really want to do, because it's laced with all of this ugh, that was never dealt with. And you're giving your kids a crappy version of what you want to give them. My mom and I have had a very complicated journey. There are some women who enjoy being mothers. They enjoy getting to know their children. They enjoy the exchange, the opportunity to nurture them, nurture their gifts, their talents, to speak well of them, to speak life into them. There's some women who understand that they're bringing up a person and that their fingerprints are all over this person. And they're either pain points, or your fingerprints are molding them for whatever part you're able to play in making them into the people that they have been destined to be. Like it's a great privilege and an honor and an opportunity. And there's many women see it that way. And some women are just not able, whether it's they're crippled emotionally, or they're just disinterested, or career is more important, whatever the reasons are, they are just unwilling or unable. And if you compound that with a hostility, there's some women who are also hostile toward their daughters, and they may not even realize it, but it's experienced. A jealousy, a resentment. I often felt resented for being close to my dad, which what else would I be, since I certainly wasn't close to my mom. I didn't feel liked by her. So I was very close to my dad and still am. And then there was resentment for that. So I grew up in an environment where I felt that the woman who not really just a feeling, it was the experience that the woman who birthed me and even saved my life as a baby. Apparently, I was in the crib and I had so much mucus that I was like essentially drowning in my mucus, and I was heard some somehow she heard me choking in another room. They were entertaining guests, and as a nurse, she was able to, it's gross. I will spare you the details, but suction all that mucus out so that I could breathe. But who knows if, she didn't hear and respond in the time that she did, who knows if I would be here. And so I have not only the fact that she birthed me to thank her for, but that she did save my life. If for nothing else, for that, I'm always grateful to her. And those are two things that I've had to hold on to amidst all the other pain points of experience that I've had with her that kept driving home the message that you are different than me. I don't like you. I'm not going to have anything to do with you other than what I absolutely have to. I will feed you. I will clothe you. I will, take you here or take you there. But our conversation, the investment that I will put into you personally, I don't have it. She didn't have it for me. And then I'm also resenting you. And on top of all of that, it's a lot. And I grew up having to figure a lot of things out by myself, having to overcome negative feelings about myself. Because if your mama don't like you, what do you do with that? If your mama don't like you, who likes you? And when you're a kid, you don't know how to appropriate what is her issue. That's her issue. It's got nothing to do with me. You can't think on that level. All you know is your mama don't like you. And you don't have any reason why. She won't even talk to you and even tell you why. Um, and so there have been a lot of hurtful things that she has said to me, to the point where I'm going to be honest, I hated her. As a teen, I hated her and hated that I was in that position to feel like I was backed against a wall by someone who felt hateful towards me, that all I could do in response is hate her back. And it was nothing ever verbal. I wasn't like these kids now who say whatever to their parents. I still had enough sense and respect to honor her as my mother. But in my soul, in my time in my room by myself, there was a venom that I had toward her. And I couldn't even express that. I had no one even to talk about that with. And so you go through all your experiences in life, um, starting your cycle and um, liking boys and having boyfriends in high school and all the intricacies and nuances of that, and not having the woman of the house, your mother, to be able to talk to about any of that on any level, um, to be left to feel like something is wrong with you, and to have a concerted effort to overcome that and refuse that and pump yourself up. That's a lot for a kid to do, and I resented her. I resented her for many years. And then once I gave my life to Christ and I realized how much I'd been forgiven of for hating her, and as I came into and got closer to my dream of becoming a pediatrician, which was fueled by wanting to help children. Essentially, we're as helpless as all children are, as helpless as I felt as a child, wanting to care for them, wanting to at least make sure if I couldn't do anything about their home situation, at least I could do something about their health. And as I got closer to um, graduating college and going into medical school, I started to grapple with more and more. And as I grew in my walk with the Lord, I grappled more and more with the feelings I had toward my mom. How I had to recognize that as much as I wanted her to be more than she was, I can't make her. It's for her to be aware of her own limits, her own limitations, real or imagined, and for her to address them. It's never for a child to hold a parent accountable. It's for a parent, it's for a mother to have enough love of self to check in with herself and see how she is as a woman and how is that translating as a mother, and are there things that I need to address and where can I go to address that. That's for a mother to do. But I had to realize that it was not going to serve me. I knew I wanted to get married someday and have children, and I knew it was not going to serve me to still carry resentment toward her. The venom had subsided. Once I left the house and didn't have to be confronted with her every day, that subsided. But that resentment, that feeling that I had been robbed of an experience owed to me, that was the next thing that I had to deal with. And that was a journey. It was a journey of acceptance of what it means to accept people where they are and that they may never change, and that the window for what they could have given you in the past is gone, and that for where you can connect now as women may not ever be what you hoped, what you've seen on television, what you see in your relationships between your friends and their mothers. It might not be something for you. And to take care of yourself, to understand that even if your mother didn't take care of you, you're not supposed to go without care, that you can still take care of yourself. What does that mean? It means nurturing yourself. I've talked about it before, giving yourself the compliments, putting yourself around people who can teach you the things, other women who can teach you the things that your mother didn't. Approaching older women that you have relationships for whatever reason and allowing them to mentor you, allowing them to fill in some of the gaps that you grew up with. You don't have to stay without. You don't have to stay a victim of neglect or a victim of being unmothered or a victim of being undermothered. As an adult, you have power to address what the little girl you could not. You can be her advocate and you can get her the help she needs, the help you need as a woman now to navigate life as a woman and to feel confident in that, to feel that you are a person of worth and value in spite of how your mother treated you, in spite of how she let you down. You are here for a reason and you're worth the effort. You're worth the effort that she didn't give you. You are worth it. And to believe that there are people out there who will see your value and will come and be a part of putting pieces back together that have been missing. But you have to forgive her for what she did not have. I had to really start understanding that, as a teen, I thought she just was inherently evil. And then as an adult woman, I was like, okay, actually, wow, what must she have gone through to to be this kind of mother? What did she go without? How much of a miracle is it maybe that she even had two daughters at all? And maybe that's the best she could do was just have them and take care of our physical needs. But beyond that, she just didn't have it to give. And was of a generation where getting therapy wasn't the thing to do, or being transparent, that also was not the thing to do. And so, in her mind, she was doing better than was done for her. I had to wrap my mind around that possibility. I had to extend to her the grace that I would need to give myself, realizing that I would be entering into motherhood at a significant deficit to other women who had the benefit of their mother's wisdom. I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't have a any kind of a map to start to work from. There's no manual, but at least some women have had a map, something that they can sort of vaguely, if I start going in this direction, my mom went in this direction and we were really blessed by that. If I go in that direction with my kids, I'd 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 be off to a great start. I didn't even have that. And so I knew that with all of my good intentions, with all of my uh, working on myself, developing in my relationship with the Lord and allowing Him to heal me, allowing my relationships with older women that He had, had me to come in contact with at my church, how they loved on me and supported me. But ultimately, I had to get therapy to deal with things that I had experienced in the past that would and had gotten triggered as I was and have been raising my own children. So there's also that reality that there's some of this, depending on what you've experienced, you can process yourself with journaling. You can process with having a good girlfriend that you can share it with. One of my friends growing up, neighborhood friends from young, her mom is that mom. We loved being at her house, and she was the kind of mom where, a lot of times you go to your friend's house and y'all are in the room and you're trying to speak in hushed tones because you don't want her mama to hear anything of what you're saying, because then it's a whole thing, and then her mama will tell your mama. At least that's how it used to be back when I was growing up. I'm grown, so I'm reflecting on those days. They don't do that now. But now she was the kind of mom, we'd sit in the kitchen and we'd be talking about our stuff in front of her, and she's like fixing dinner or something, and she'd be like, what y'all talk, and why, and what's going on, and where they do that at, and who told y'all that you ladies don't conduct yourself that way. And she taught us in the most loving way. She checked us, she challenged us, she loved us, and we were able to talk to her. And there's so much I learned at her table. And so she's someone I am always grateful for. I always still check up on and ask my friend how her mom is doing. And when I'm in town, when I'm back home in New York, I go and see about her because I'm so grateful for what she poured into me. And so, yeah, do all those things, gather all those people, all of those resources, but you have got to forgive your mother. You holding resentment against her will not undo any of what she did, will not make it not be so. It all still happened. And now, what are you going to do with it? It can make you a victim or it can make you a victor. And I've chosen to be a victor. I've chosen to use her example. I didn't have the positive one that I wanted, and so I used the negative one to inform what kind of mother I wanted to be. It wasn't purely what I used to inform that, but I did not want to waste my pain. I lived that pain. I experienced every bit of that pain. I did not want to waste a bit of it. I wanted it to be worth something. And once I forgave her for being limited in what she could give me as a mother, I was able then to look more objectively at what the situation was. I didn't look at it through seething hate. I could just look at it as facts and say, okay, I'm I can imagine, based on the little bit I know about her family dynamics growing up, I can see how she got here. She decided to stay there. I will not stay there. I will go further. And um, and to just start looking at her as a woman, because we're all women first. We're all women who have been through things that we typically have had to keep to ourselves. And although we think we're burying it, it comes up and it comes out in all of our roles. And I did not want to taint my motherhood with pain that I never resolved. And so I am making this very personal video to encourage you. If you are a woman who was abandoned by your mother, you were unmothered, you were undermothered, you were wounded by her. First of all, I am sorry. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I'm sorry if you weren't ever able to discuss it with anyone. And I'm making this video to encourage you to do just that, to write it out, get yourself a journal and write out everything that you experienced or that you'd want to say to your mother. And then scan your crew and see who is a good girlfriend that you can start to unpack this with, who is a therapist that can help you go even further. But your babies, your children deserve the best version of you. And you want to give them that because you want them to have better than what you had. That's what any good mother wants, for her child to have better than she had. And part of that is being healed, for you to be healed. So, the good news is here I am in my 50s. My mom is in her 80s, and we are doing a lot better. Are we picture perfect? Are we close? Are we talking about all the things woman to woman? Not so much. But here and there we do. Here and there she surprises me. And I'm grateful that I'm in a place in my heart that I can receive from her whatever she's able to give now. It's been years of development for her to even share in the ways that she has as a woman. But I'm grateful that I'm in a position to receive from her so that I don't pass on any of that negative feeling, any of that toxicity into my own interaction with my daughter. I want the slate clean. I want the cycle slayed. And unfair as it is, it's going to take your work, the work of forgiveness, to interrupt that cycle, to bring you into a place of freedom so that you're really able to love and care and nurture and direct and discipline your children in a way that's healthy and true to who you are as a woman, not too true to the wounds that you have been carrying all of these years. So I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you more context to why I'm so passionate about intentional parenting. Intentional motherhood starts with intentional forgiveness of your own mother. It's tough. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the truth. And because I want you to be as great as I know you are, I'm telling it to you. So, until next time, when it comes to you being the mother of your children, you are the woman for the job, and you are equipped. You are equipped with the heart and the desire to do what it takes to do that job to the best of your ability. You are the woman for the job, and I'm rooting for you. Take care.